Hi everyone. Our next podcast is about Paris, France. My friend Ashley and her husband went there just as the COVID-19 pandemic was ending. I asked her if I could interview her about their experience going about Paris, and she agreed. Here's what she has to say. First question, how far ahead did you plan for the trip to Paris?
Yeah, so we were going in April of 2022, and I want to say that it was kind of a spontaneous decision, and we bought our tickets in August of 2021. So again, we probably thought about it for a day and then bought our tickets, but we had all that time in between to prep.
To prep, yeah. Oh yeah, I know, because I wasn't there all the way. My second question is, what considerations did you include for that trip? I know that it was it before the pandemic or after the pandemic?
It was during the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
Yeah,
okay.
It was still, it was more towards the later part of it, so things were more relaxed.
Okay, so what considerations did you kind of include, except for, of course, I know that the pandemic, yeah.
So one of the, COVID aside, one of the biggest things that we were considering and trying to figure out how to do was actually getting our passports, because it was our first international trip. We'd never been anywhere. So trying to navigate the application system, which it was all very easy, but being a first-time person going through it, neither of our families have had to do it or anything, so we were having to navigate it kind of on our own.
So how many months did you think you have to prep for that?
For that particular thing, we probably waited, well, at least my husband waited more so to the last minute, but I would say 3 or 4 months is probably good, just to give yourself ease of mind. That felt good for us during that time, but if we would have done it during hard COVID times, probably more closer to 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, so my third question is, how light did you pack? And give me 4 must-have to pack for your trip. But 4 items or anything that you had to be, it has to be included.
We packed fairly light. We didn't check any bags. We had a carry-on and a personal item, and that was it. So we only packed 4 or 5 outfits because the place we were staying at had a washer and dryer. Mine would be different from my husband's. Well, across the board, we had to have a converter for the plugging in things.
Exactly, yeah.
So that was definitely a must-have for both of us. With me, it was my hair straightener. I could not leave without my hair straightener. Let's see what else. My husband, headphones, he had to have 2 sets of headphones. One for the airplane, because a lot of airplanes still don't have Bluetooth, so he had to have an audio jack. And then, although I did not open it once, I made sure to bring a book. That was like, as I was packing, I was like, I have to bring a book. I'm going to read. But then once we actually got there, we were just so busy I didn't even open it. So I would heavily reconsider that one because it was a big item.
Unless, of course, you probably, if you go for the train or something, then probably it would be helpful.
If you know that you're going to have the opportunity to read, if you know that you're not one to get motion sickness or anything, then I would definitely recommend that. Laptop for sure, because during the time we had to do
work. Yeah.
During the time we had to test to come back to the U.S., so we had to have some kind of electronic device that would allow us to do a video chat with the doctor. So the laptop was imperative for that. Also the COVID tests, we had to have those. Let's see, 4 items: hair straightener, converter,
laptop,
book, and like your passport. That's the 4 more. You can buy everything while you're there. You don't have to have clothes. You don't have to have makeup or any of these things. I probably could have gone by without a straightener, but make sure you have your funds in order. Make sure you have your electronic devices in order, and then anything you need just to be happy.
Okay, so in addition to that question, what would you say you would recommend? Bringing a debit card and a credit card, or just a credit card? Like how many credit cards, or like all those things?
So when we kind of look back, we were kind of naive about it and how we did it. One, we didn't consider foreign transaction fees. We didn't think of that. We didn't even think of it. If I had to decide between a debit card or a credit card, though, I'd definitely go with the credit card just because there's more security. So with our particular debit cards, all our funds were tied to them. We did bring along one debit card just for emergency purposes, but we did not take it out with us. It stayed in the hotel with our passports and everything.
Yes.
Definitely the credit card, but in preparation for the next one, we've actually talked about it, and we plan to just get cash and kind of use it everywhere. If you go with the credit card route, make sure you get a card that is essentially a travel credit card, where they don't charge those foreign transaction fees. There's several out there.
And the transaction fees are pretty big.
Yeah. It wasn't, I mean, when you consider the cost of how things were over there and how they incorporated taxes and stuff, it wasn't that much more, but anytime we would spend like over $30, we would see like $1 charge for a foreign transaction fee. So it didn't amount to much. Maybe in total we paid $30 to $40 in transaction fees, but still, if you can avoid that, it makes sense.
Okay, so my fourth question is, what was your first impression of Paris? Were there any surprises about Paris that you did not expect?
So as soon as we got up from the subway and everything, we were pretty much overwhelmed because we got into a very busy street. We had all our luggage. We were exhausted after like 12 hours of travel. But just like kind of the awe of being there, because it was our first time, that was probably our first impression. It's like, oh wow, we're here. That was pretty cool. Seeing the river, the scene was mind-boggling. And then we saw, despite Notre Dame being under construction, still getting to see it, and it was always there as we were growing up. We always heard about it and everything, so we got to see all these really cool things that neither one of our parents have ever seen, and it was kind of a very reflective moment, like of where we've come and how we've gotten to this point. It was interesting. But again, we were exhausted. I think we were so exhausted. We finally were able to get back into our Airbnb, and we crashed. We were so tired. And we were very silly because what we did is, because it's an old-fashioned lock, it was an Airbnb, so it wasn't like a card, it wasn't all. So we put the key in the Airbnb, and we get in, and we close the door, don't think about anything. We go and crash for like 4 or 5 hours. We go back to get out, and then we're like, where's the key?
And the key was on the door.
The key was in the door, yeah. So when I say we were exhausted, we were not thinking clearly. We were very tired. But when we started walking around the next day, and we'd gotten our energy back, and just walking along the river and all the way down to the Eiffel Tower, and it was really, really cool. It was really cool. Yeah. Eiffel Tower was much bigger than I thought it was. But it was really, really cool.
It's like you're transported in a way.
And that's another thing too. It's like everything is so old. It's you go into a building and it's probably 200-300 years old, and some of them much, much older than any building in the United States. And you're like, this is it's surreal.
Yeah,
it's
surreal. Crazy. Exactly. Yeah. So my last question is, I know you're going back there next year. Is there anything you would like to change in like planning? I know you're already planning now, packing, or anything at all for your next trip.
Yeah, so I already kind of said we reevaluated how we're going to be handling the finances when we go. Doing that a little bit differently. We do want to venture out more because we were pretty nervous the first time. So we stayed in Paris. Yeah. We did not leave Paris. So we hope to go out. We're actually hoping to take a train to England and kind of see.
That's nice.
Even if they're there just for a couple hours, it'd just be something. It'd be a little bit different. So we're hoping to broaden it a little bit. We reevaluated the exhaustion thing because we don't want to be that exhausted when we get there. We're probably still going to be tired, but we're doing things a little bit differently where we have a longer layover in one so that we can rest a little bit. And then we also opted to get an Airbnb that was earlier so that we just go straight into the Airbnb.
Put your stuff on, then just go out. Yeah.
The first time we had like 6 hours or so that we had to kill before we were able to check in, so we had to get like a city locker, put our stuff in it, so we didn't have to walk around with all our luggage. That was a bit tedious, so we're not doing that. We're still not ready to drive. Eventually, I want to get to that point.
Yeah,
where we feel comfortable driving. But mainly,
that's another freedom that you can have, driving around. Not in Paris though.
No,
but like outside.
Just taking
yeah.
the bikes in Paris. So like we rented bikes, and it was during the day, during like busy rush hour.
Oh God, yes.
And my husband kept saying, he's like, I was horrified. I looked back and you just get hit by a bus. I was like, oh. So that was a bit scary. We probably won't do that again because it was pretty scary. Probably just relax a little bit more because we were so
nervous.
We were so nervous, but we were also trying to see so much. So taking more time to kind of sit down and just kind of enjoy it. I think that would make it.
People watching. Yeah.
Doing more of that. It'll be colder when we go. I'm fairly certain because it's going to be almost 2 months earlier. So it'll be mid-March. Maybe not super cold, but so we're already considering how we're going to have to dress a little differently. That's pretty much it. I mean, I feel like the first time around,
you did pretty good. We did the first time around,
We did make mistakes. There were things that surprised us. The amount of people smoking was crazy.
Yeah.
But the food was amazing. It was amazing. You get better quality food for a much better value.
Yes. And people doesn't rush you. Does the restaurants rush you there?
I didn't. I didn't feel like we were rushed at any point. And they would check on us and add up the time. It felt like that the people who were waiting on us, it was more of their career rather than just like them trying to get through college. Like this is what they did as a living, and
they're more happier or something. Yeah.
And overall, just how environmental they are. I think that was it was
except for the smoking.
So
do you have any funny or interesting story you would like to tell us about Paris?
So one of the days we decided to just kind of take it easy and walk around. I think taking it easy, we still walked like 15 miles a day. But, so we're just walking and walking. Somehow we fell upon a market because they have markets everywhere. This one seemed a bit more, it wasn't like the other ones. It was some kind of festival was going on in this particular street. And so we're just browsing, looking at it. I was looking at a jewelry shop, and then right next door they had nougat, who I don't think I knew what nougat was before this. I'm sure I heard of it, I'm sure I tasted it, but I did not really associate it with anything. So we're going, and the nice gentleman offers us a little taste. And we're like, oh yeah, that's really yummy. And it's got cranberries and nuts. They have all these different flavors. They taste like honey. I'm like, oh yeah, let's get some. We'll take some back. And then, so it's this huge, massive, if you can imagine, maybe a 5-layer cake that's like 10 inches round, these massive things of nougat. And he's going to cut us off a sliver that's probably maybe 4 or 5 inches thick. And we're like, no, we need much, much smaller. So he gets us like maybe 2 inches, almost just like a piece of cake, like 2 inches thick. And cuts it off and everything, and he puts it on the scale, and I thought when it read through that it was 63 euros. And I was like, surely that can't be right. Surely I just was seeing like 6 euros or something like that. And so I didn't think too much of it. My husband at the same time, he did notice it. And he did realize how much it was, but of course, us being socially awkward and not wanting to say, oh no, never mind, my husband graciously takes it, pays the guy 63 euros, and we come back with this huge thing of rock hardness nougat. And it was just we didn't realize how expensive it was, and then it was just...
It is expensive.
It was very expensive. It was probably the most expensive thing we bought in there.
Well, next time, you know now.
Yeah.
You don't, I mean...
Do we know? Do we really know? I feel like we might fall for something, but I think we understand a little bit better now, so hopefully we don't.
Yeah, you just have to taste. I mean, it's okay to bring stuff from there. Yeah, but...
And then there's different regulations, and then we thought that would happen. We thought going through security that they may not let us take it, because it was...
food.
It could be a little bit tricky with food. So we were a little bit iffy on that, and I kept telling my husband, I was like, it would be hilarious if they make us throw this away.
I know, it'd be like 63 euros. It's like almost, it's like $70.
Something like, $70. Although it tasted good when we tasted it, neither me or my husband really
ate it
liked
again.
It. Yeah.
But that's the one that you brought here, right?
Yeah. So I wound up bringing it to work and giving it to all my wonderful coworkers because I did not want it.
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing it with us. And yeah, I actually tasted it. Yeah, it was good, but it's not like
it's not something you want to eat a lot.
A lot of
taste,
yeah.
Not $70
Yeah.
worth of it.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley. And I know it's a short time, but I'm going to interview you again next year. I'm excited.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for listening. Till next time.